think I've grown in. I don't think I was bad at it at first, but the more you're around players, because they have different personalities, so you can't cookie cutter your approach. To me, relationships are time over time. It's like you spend time over time with someone, and that's how you build trust. A position doesn't give you trust. Just because I'm a head coach, that doesn't mean they're going to trust me. And so if you think that positions give you trust or give you respect, then you're going to be a poor leader.
Caitlin Clark didn't argue. She didn't react. She simply stood up, and in that instant, the entire gym fell silent. It no longer felt like basketball. It felt like a breaking point. Moments later, a coach walked off the floor. Phones came out, whispers spread, and everyone in the building knew something had gone too far. Before this turns into headlines, like the video and comment, USA, because what you're about to hear explains why this moment shook Team USA. Day 4 of Team USA camp was supposed to be controlled, calculated, and professional. Instead, it became the most uncomfortable session of the entire camp.
You didn't know, you know now. Caitlin Clark officially slams the door shut on Project B, unrivaled in all of these other leagues. She didn't hold back. She let it be known, I ain't rocking with none of these other leagues. We about to get right so I can cook in the WNBA. We got Paige Beckers fans being just so petty and bogus over one little shot she made over Caitlin Clark. And the thing is, you guys are making this award. Fans, this is what they want to see us for. All this other stuff is cool. We're not there for that. We here to see y'all play WNBA hoops, bro. Straight up and down. CC standing on business.
It started with a rotation sheet. Nothing dramatic on paper, just a small lineup tweak. Caitlin Clark was listed out of the first unit for a controlled segment. No announcement, no explanation, just the bench. She noticed immediately but didn't react or complain. She sat down, the room felt it, because this wasn't about minutes anymore, it was about the message. As practice began, something was off right away. The offense slowed, spacing collapsed, and communication turned sloppy. Veterans tried to stabilize things, but they couldn't. Caitlin watched quietly from the sideline, eyes fixed on the floor.
Conversation I had with her pre-practice was that this is going to be one of the most fun experiences she's had, because everyone at this level loves the game, like a lot. And when you're growing up, you know, in high school, not every player loves the game like you love it. And then you go to college and not every player loves the game like you love it. I'm talking about like the elite skill, the elite competitors. Then you get here and you're like, whoa, there's more people like me. And this is fantastic. So I just want her, just like all the other players, to enjoy the experience, enjoy being with like-minded people. And I thought she looked good, you know, on both ends. And I thought, you know, that she hadn't missed a beat. So I thought she looked good.
Reading everything around her, she was way back in after 2 rough possessions. She stood without rushing, and the energy shifted the moment she checked in. The ball moved faster, cuts appeared, and the game finally breathed again. On her first touch, she delivered an assist. On the second, a hockey assist. On the third, a step-back 3, swish. No celebration, just silence, and the bench tightened. On the next possession, Caitlin pushed the pace. The defense scrambled, and she pulled from deep again. Swish. Now it was uncomfortable, because this wasn't defiance. It was clarity. She wasn't trying to prove a point. She was simply playing, and that's what made it worse. A staff member stood, an assistant whispered something, and the head coach watched closely. At the next stoppage, Caitlin was pulled again, this time for longer. The gym went quiet. She looked toward the bench, her expression calm but firm, not frustration, but disbelief. When performance answers every question, what's left of debate? A veteran missed an assignment. Another shot rimmed out, and the tension kept building. Caitlin stood again, this time on her own. No signal, no argument. She walked toward the scorer's table, stopped, turned back, looked at the floor, and sat down again.
In their very near future, and we wrote about that on the site, just like how people have been perceiving the negotiations and what still affects them and what they're thinking about with regards to the new collective bargaining agreement. But for now, just good time at camp, 3 days in North Carolina, a little snow on one of the days, you know, just a little taste of the winter in the South. But
right.
Yeah, it was interesting just to see what Carol Lawson is prioritizing in terms of how she wants to make her imprint on this program. And just fun to like see the players in a live game situation again, because you think about like Caitlin hasn't played since July 15th, you know?
Yes.
There are 4 sparks of this camp. Their season ended on September 11th, right? So it's been a long time since any of them have really played competitive basketball. You know, you still have some situations where like Caitlin's stuck guarding Kelsey and Kelsey's, you know, knocking her.
That's when the moment finally breaks. A coach walks off the court, not angry, not shouting, just done. The whistle never blows, but practice pauses anyway. Players look around as phones begin buzzing along the sideline, and whispers spread fast. Did you see that? This is getting ugly. Rumors form instantly, not statements, not confirmations, just questions. Is this about minutes? About control? About Caitlin Clark changing the balance too fast? Because one thing is undeniable. Every time she steps on the floor, the difference is clear. And that kind of impact creates pressure.
Camp, and I want to particularly hit on 2 things that you wrote about, just Caitlin Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlin just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play. A little bit about what Caitlin looked like on the court, how much fun she was having, how important it was. And then someone else, Angel Reese on the other side, talking about Chicago. That was the article I was not expecting.
Yeah, so we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice.
Not just on players, but on systems, decisions, and egos. Another coach joins the first near the tunnel. Voices low and faces serious. This isn't a tantrum or a meltdown. It's tension reaching its limit. Caitlin remains seated, saying nothing, showing no reaction. Sue Bird watches from the sideline with her arms crossed, then quietly says, "This is what happens when the game decides faster than people do." The line lands hard, because no one benched Caitlin for lack of performance. She was benched because of what her performance was forcing. Practice ends early, something that never happens. No huddle, no wrap-up speech. Players are dismissed, and behind closed doors the conversations continue. Not about quitting or lawsuits, but about fallout and optics.
You, Caitlin. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. I feel like I have been screaming this at the top of my lungs through all of the messiness that has happened over the past 2 seasons in the WNBA. You have a moment right now in women's basketball, and specifically in the WNBA. You have a boom that we have never seen in the history of this league. Do whatever you can to not mess it up, and they've already done multiple things that is like shooting themselves in.
It's about what happens when one player's excellence accelerates the timeline too fast. Caitlin leaves the floor without a word. No post, no quote, just calm, because she doesn't need to say anything. Her game already did. And whatever comes next, meetings, statements, spin, one thing is already clear. This was never about one drill or one benching. It was about control slipping. And when control slips at this level, everyone feels it.